All right. Sometimes things just have to go and recalibrate. So I did a live video about 5 minutes ago and it didn't take. And then I tried to do it again. So I had to go and log out, log back in again. Interesting. I know last night there was a bit of a glitch in my video last night. But anyway, so what I was actually talking about earlier is that I feel great after the last couple days of dealing with a virus that was terraforming me. And how that manifests is the pain of the energy, the feelings of hunger, because the energy being used to produce the different chemical reactions that you feel the energy, as well as the upgrades, the releasing of the excess. And so the Vampire Diaries and Van Helsing and all the different dystopian zombie Walking Dead type movies are right on point when you're dealing with the anger of the hunger, the needing to feed, when you're being cannibalized, but not necessarily cannibalized. When you keep feeding your body, you're not being cannibalized, you're just replacing the energy that's being taken away and then upgraded. And so, yeah, it's such a stark contrast from yesterday, just being in bed and eating and sleeping and feeling that hunger, that is almost like you feel like can't be satiated. That's what it's like, I guess, to be a vampire in these allegories, is that when you're dealing with so many different viruses and variants that we've been exposed to, that is going on right now, the terraforming, when you're actually feeling it, you will feel the hunger. You will feel such aggressive amounts of hunger. And so that's why you need to have complete proteins, not only soy, but also like red meat and white meat. I mean, anything that's super substantial. And what I figured out is I need to have the coffee, of course. I need to have the chicken, the red meat, like the hamburgers, and my pasta, and a few vegetables, and that's really, and cereal and milk. Okay, and that's really the extent of what I need to survive on, because we are in obviously a great reset that is terraforming geologically, financially, economically, spiritually, all of that. And yeah, today's a holiday, so again, thank you all the mothers out there that are raising children, raising animals, or taking care of animals. We appreciate you. I appreciate the tutelage under all the different mothers that I received from the people that I looked up to in my youth, as well as even in today. But I don't really have too many people I look up to today, just because I can take care of myself. But yeah, I feel like so amazing and today. And it's such a crazy contrast from yesterday and the day before. And so when you guys finally get control of your body and everything else, yeah, you're going to feel different variants, and you're going to have to be down for however long, for a couple days, a day, and sleep. And that's the thing, is that how do you incorporate something like J juice and adapting to something as aggressive as this and still maintain? It's going to be difficult. Okay, it's going to be difficult. So that's the thing about when you're finally realizing all of your predispositions and also taking on the new variants, is that how are you going to incorporate your busy life with things that you have to take care of, and then also give time to yourself. And that's going to be something you'll figure out. But you're seeing on one end where I don't have to go anywhere. I don't have to leave the house to do anything except with my husband, and to go shopping for food. But I don't even have to leave the house for that. And so someone, that doesn't have to leave the house to do anything, but still catches different variants, either from my husband or from the outside. Okay, then you got to realize that with your lifestyle, if you're out there all the time, what are you catching? What are you not releasing? What are you accumulating? What is incubating within? And then when will it get expressed? What will be the catalyst? The spontaneous, right? There's nothing spontaneous. When they say spontaneous combustion or spontaneous, mutation, spontaneous mutagenesis. There's nothing spontaneous. There's always a catalyst. Just because you don't know the catalyst doesn't mean that it's just like, out of nowhere. Oh no, it's just you can't see it. And so what's going to be that thing that's going to break the camera's back? What's going to be the major breakthrough infection that you're going to actually experience when you finally are not under the influence of drugs, alcohol, or even J juice? Not that J juice is like antibiotic or, like a drug, but J juice also can put you in a cured state. That's why people like it so much when they finally reach that point. But remember, you've gone too far if you can't feel stuff. And so, take note between now and August that what you do now, what you do today, between now and August, is going to determine what's going to come to surface this fall, if not already. Because they're already telling you 100 million people are going to be exposed to another COVID, another variant, because the Omicron and the Delta, there's so many variants from that are escaping people's immunity. How is that? How is this? Because we have 7.9 billion people mutating viruses, and we haven't realized all the different diseases. Not everybody, received a vector for every single disease that was in the past, because it's relatively under wraps. Anyone that was exposed to something like that, it was behind all the different therapies, hidden in their lymphatic system, not expressed. People died before they were able to express what was in the past, in their genetic past. But now that these variants and the energy of these variants are so extraordinarily strong and energetic, then it's bringing up the past. It's bringing up things that people had dormant within them, and now we get to experience it all over again. And so, so that's the thing, right now that people have to realize is that every single fall, we're going to see some kind of variant that's going to be highly energetic. It's going to take people down notch by notch by notch. And yeah, like I said last night, when you can't even keep up with your friends and families dropping like flies and all of it on your Facebook, it's very grim. And they said it's going to be very grim if it isn't already. Some of you are dealing with your own stuff, that you have your own emotional issues, your own physiological issues, your own financial issues, your own emotional issues, and you're not making the connection that it's the virus. Oh yes, these viruses will give you back pain. These viruses will mess with the way you look at the world. These viruses are very powerful. And that's why, Microsoft and Apple, it's run by a viral platform, and then it also has antivirals for aggressive, destructive viruses like the Trojan virus and whatever else virus that's out there that they're developing antivirus software for, at least for your computer. But imagine you as a CPU, a central processing unit of your gut and your lymphatic system, or your digestive system and lymphatic system, and you have a main viral operating system that's still glitchy, but you're relatively doing okay, but you're dealing with stuff using the medical holistic system. Imagine a major virus getting through, and it got through your first lines of defense and even your second lines of defense. And now it's incubating. Now it's somewhere hidden behind stuff, and it's antibiotic resistant. So it won't, die from any of the antivirals you're taking if you feel anything, or any of the antibiotics or any of the home remedies you're taking. And it's just incubating. At what point will a new variant in the environment come September will wake it up? That's what you got to realize, guys, is you don't know what's going to fucking wake everything up in your system. Okay? And so, it took me a couple days to get through this shit. I'm telling you what, feeling like I got hit by a truck yesterday, feeling that back pain and waking up to back pain, that was pretty insane. That was intense. And it wasn't so painful, but I would lay on my side and I would feel the pull. It would be like underneath, one of my right shoulder blade, and then you go to my left shoulder blade. But the hives that I had on my back that I showed you guys a couple of days ago was an indicator. And then feeling 3 o'clock in the morning, feeling the back pain at 3 in the morning and tossing and turning, that's an indicator. And then it finally came to surface. And then what happened after that is I ate hamburger, I ate chicken. And I was mowing on the hamburger and the chicken, replacing the proteins that were eaten up and used up, but also I was being terraformed. We're being terraformed left and right. And the terraforming will cause so many emotional, financial, economical issues. Okay? And then you have to go and replace the energy. And so, yeah, I was eating so much McDonald's the last couple of days. That was the amazing amount of protein packs that I got from the fast food. And it made me feel better. Because it's food, but people are so scared of eating fast food. I had last night, jalapeno poppers from Arby's. I still have mac and cheese in there that I guess I could eat today, but I'm not really that hungry. And again, I had the McDoubles, I had the chicken nuggets, I had the fries, I had the ice cream, I had, the 2 cheeseburgers and whatever. I actually gave one to my dog because she's doing okay. I mean, even though, yeah, she's not eating like I want her to eat, but she's eating for her environment. She's eating for her size. Remember, I got her down to her prototype. She was bred to be really big, and you've seen the pit bulls out there. They're bred to be huge. So she doesn't have to be huge anymore. She's not gonna be pulling weight or whatever people use their pit bulls for. Okay, so anyways, I'm eating to replace, and that's the thing. I know what I can live on. I know what I can survive on. And so it's just, so anyways, I feel great today. I feel great. And it's such a stark contrast from yesterday and the day before. And I'm telling you, sleep is going to be your friend. Sleep is going to be your friend, because that's going to give you the clarity, the mental clarity, and it's going to help your body regenerate. And so after, you wake up and you're feeling the pain, like I felt pain yesterday, and then I ate like a bunch of food, and then I went to sleep right afterwards. And that's what I did when I was PMSing a couple, 10, 15 years ago. I would go to my favorite restaurant and get like my favorite Greek food or my favorite Moroccan food or something. And I would just gorge, and I would gorge, and I would gorge, and then I would just sleep. And I would sleep, and I would sleep. And then after I got through that PMS, I felt like I was a new person. I felt like I conquered the world. And that's when I got the most things done, was in between those times of the body going through a major evolutionary stage, which is happening today. That's why you're seeing me have all these different revelations. Every single time I get exposed to a new variant, I go and gorge. First I feel the pain, then I go and gorge food, and then I sleep, and then I wake up like, wow, I have this revelation. And I feel like a new person. And that's what's going to happen in this environment, is that if you figure out how to utilize, the intelligence in your environment, and you get exposed to someone with a new variant, or your body releases a predisposition that you never were exposed to, that's intelligence that's uncovered. When you finally deal with your predispositions, it's intelligence that was hidden behind your immune system. Because remember, all the immune systems have been blocked by different therapies that block the intelligence, that create proteins to stop the intelligence from expressing. So some of you have so much intelligence inside of you that you don't even know how much you have, because you have it blocked behind so many different medications and therapies. And then when you finally feel your intelligence, yeah, it'll be painful, but man, you'll be like, now I get where Jillian's coming from. Now I get what it's like to cough out stuff. Now I get what she means, like there's a presence in the room when you're coughing so hard, or you're seeing stars, or you see something from the corner of your eye that you just can't explain, and it's not anything, from a shadow from outside, from a light from across the street or something, or someone's headlights. There's some crazy shit in the spiritual world. And you'll be, and that's where people find religion. That's the thing. Today is Sunday, today's a holiday. People find religion because their immune system gave them the access to be like either blind faith, or they felt something in their immune system that they couldn't explain. Because science is not going to tell you, well, yeah, these viruses are very intelligent and they can have their own mind and have certain things that happen that you can't explain. And so then people then use the religion as a way to justify what happened to them, that they got touched by the hand of God or something, or they saw the Mary Mother of God. And there could be a collective thing like that, and you never know if the government's messing with people. You never really know anything. And so when you have the power elite understand the power of viruses, understand the power of the sphincter, understand the power of your alimentary canal, which is your anal, okay? When they understand the power of that, they can make anybody believe in politics, religion, and science. And they will put down so many different platforms for you to work from. If you didn't like this platform, here's another platform, here's another one, here's another one, here's another story, here's another story. Okay? And so that's what we have to understand is that when you understand the power of your own immune system, when you finally feel the intelligence that's within you, and then you take on your community's intelligence, whether it's your husband, your wife, your girlfriend, your boyfriend, your mom, and your dad, and you're hanging out with people, but there's a lot of intelligence that maybe you have to be careful because that's a lot of evolving and you'll be down for a while. But then you're like, well, how do I go and do things? How do I get out and about? Well, that's the thing. That's the cross you have to bear, is the fact that when you're out there all the time, you're picking up a lot of intelligence. But when you realize that intelligence, it's going to be a lot of energy. Some people are not prepared. See, when you get into a cured state and you take on intelligence in a more of an indirect way, like studying for something, when you're studying for a test, when you're going to a class and you have to be cured at the biological, so you have to suppress your biological intelligence and take on the intellectual intelligence. Then when you finally get the biological intelligence, it's painful. But what do you do? How do you balance out the two? That's the thing you have to figure out. Because if you are in an up and coming career field, or if you are in a career field that you are up and coming in, how do you allow your body to take on the intelligence as well as your brain? And then how are you going to work in between the upgrades? Because every single person out there is going to have a new variant, and you hold variants inside of you that have to be expressed too. How are you going to balance out both sides without dying in your industry, without dying from your lifestyle? That's the conundrum. I couldn't tell you how, because I know what I had to walk away from. Okay, I know I had to walk away from California. I knew I had to walk away from the dog-eat-dog, highly competitive sales world that would cannibalize me. I had to walk away from all of that, okay? I even had to walk away from different friends and family and people's lifestyles. I had to walk away from that. It wasn't easy. People fought me along the way. They thought I was stupid. And I understand, because I understand what people need and what they want. And it doesn't mean that I need or want whatever they need or want, but it means I had to save myself from other people's expectations and wanting me to assimilate. And so if I had to walk away from all of that, and now I am mostly at home working from my computer, and I'm married to someone who's mostly out there, totally opposite of me, then you're going to figure out how are you going to balance out the intelligence, how to balance out expressing your intelligent predispositions and also taking on the new ones when you're out there. And everyone's got to figure out how they're going to make time for their evolutionary intelligent process. Because I'm sure there's a way to do both, but I've shown you the extreme side of me just take myself out of everything. And then the other side of it is my husband, who's out there all the time, taking on intelligence. And then you see how people gain intelligence. Either they're being cannibalized from the inside, or they're blowing up. They're getting bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger, or they are dealing with a diagnosable condition under a therapy. Okay. Some people might be lucky enough to have that lifespan where they grow old, because like my husband right now, he releases energy through his job. He takes on energy because I feel the variance. My dog does too. He's bigger, yes. He's gotten bigger ever since I met him. I met him when he was a skinny little mini. Okay, he was very lanky when I met him. And then the trucking industry helped him build up the pressure because he wasn't utilizing so much energy mowing lawns. He was driving a truck, taking on, the gas station pizzas and all that stuff. And I was on the truck with him, taking it on the pressure too. And then we made a lot of money in Florida when he was team driving with somebody. And so the wheels were always moving. So he made like over $100,000 a year, in Florida. Yeah. Which is not, well, it's okay. I mean, we paid $900 a month in rent versus the $500 we're paying today. But we were living high on the hog. We were eating steaks and going on vacations and doing all this stuff. And so we were taking a lot of pressure. And so, yeah, that's why I kind of blew up the last couple of years. But then finally, when I did the J Juice, I released a lot of that pressure. He's still gaining pressure, but he's doing the gradual release in between all of his different duties and stuff. Because he does throw steel. He does go in boat. He's out there gaining pressure and losing pressure when he's throwing chains or doing the curtain on his truck or whatever hard work he might do. So maybe he might be the lucky one to live out, maybe live to be 80 or 90 if he doesn't change. Who knows? There's no way to say. But other people are going to have to figure out, are they going to die from their lifestyle, or are they going to find a way to balance out the two? Because you've got to balance out the two, guys. Or especially if you know your blood type. If you don't know your blood type, then you're just kind of walking blind. If you know your blood type, then you might have an idea of what it's going to take for you to get to another point. Okay? So you got to understand that your blood type is everything, because if you're already at a deficit, when you have so many T-cell marker antigen, those biomarkers from the blood type A and B, when you know your blood type, then you know what you're going to have to deal with. And it's not going to be fun. John right now is blood type B, and he's dealing with a lot of the mucus. He's going to have to reposition himself in the next couple of years, and he's doing that, and that's good. But remember, you're also extremely intelligent, blood type A and B, because you have that streamline of memories that are just giving you that kinetic energy. Remember, blood type A and B are dealing with a lot of neurological diseases. Yes, they may be very smart. Let me tell you, you blood type A and Bs are fucking witty. You're smart. You're some of the extreme geniuses in our society, and we thank you for the innovation. It did come from a lot of the drug therapies from the 1950s and 1960s, and it's been passed down through genetic line. So you understand where that came from. Some people are genetically gifted because of their parents' exposure to the lifestyles of the 1960s, the 1970s. But you don't want that to work against you. You can still keep your intelligence with all of that kinetic activity and still keep the things that you remember, because you have the B-cell memories, but it doesn't have to destroy you and turn into a neurological disease later on. Because people who are very intelligent in their 20s, 30s, and 40s start breaking down in their 40s, 50s, 60s. And so all that intelligence that they were able to exhibit for many years, that gave them a beautiful lifestyle, gave them a huge house on the hill, gave them an amazing family and all that, then it works against them. Then they get the dementia, the Alzheimer's, the MS, the autism for kids who had that much kinetic energy right out of the gate because of the predispositions that they, had to deal with at a young age. And so all that kinetic activity didn't allow them to develop their ability to keep progressing. That kinetic activity turned from so much intelligence, turned them to then not even remembering how to be intelligent. And so you don't want to be on that side of the spectrum. And so there's got to be a way. And so that's what I'm saying. If you are in your 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, and you're blood type A and B, you kind of know what's in your future, and maybe there's a way to get ahead of it before it cannibalizes you. Okay? That's just my only warning to those that are blood type A and B. Blood type O, you have the B cell memories, obesity, and the gaining of the pressure, the strength, the physical strength of blood type O, because you know the foods that are tied to the blood types based upon your ability to deal with the nutritional coding. So blood type O's are built like brick shit houses. Those make up most of our society. Blood type O is the most prevalent blood type, and it's the most needed. Okay? And so if blood type O is the most prevalent blood type, then it means that that's all the worker bees of our world. That's the strong salesmen. That's the strong people that either work in labor intensive industries or like a salesman. Okay? And so the blood type A and B's are the cerebral. They have a lot going on up here. Blood type O's can do that. We can take on the smarts through nurture and through our exposure through nature, taking on people's viruses and allowing them to express. So that's what I'm saying. Blood type O's, if you are surrounding yourself with blood type A and B's, you will take on intelligence, but you don't have to have that intelligence work against you. And blood type A and B's, you take on the substance of a blood type O. And you need to eat the meat, the milk, the cheese, the eggs. and you need to gain some weight, okay? So you can put some substance behind the energy up here, or you will be cannibalized by your own brain, okay? So I'm giving that a fair warning to all of you blood type A and Bs, and you will be hangry. You will be hangry, and it will feel like nothing will satisfy you until you get up to a certain point. And that's going to be the suffering for blood type A and B, to finally be a blood type O, where they can live off of all the food and the food supply. They will actually gain intelligence through the weight. I'm just not saying you don't have intelligence, but you gain more intelligence through the weight, and then we'll now balance out both sides of the world. We'll have the strong people with the intelligence. And so that's what I'm saying. Me coming from California, being exposed to all this here, even though with a blood type O body, but I was either losing so much weight because of the stress, because I was doing a lot of sales work, okay, and starving myself and doing exercises, and then I come here and I'm more relaxed because I'm married, so I've been gaining weight, but I still had the intelligence up here from being exposed to being raised by blood type A and B in a science household, and exposed to Silicon Valley's way of being. So I come here and I get exposed to the physiological strength of my husband's family and his community and the people he hangs out with, because they're fucking strong. And that's going to be the perfect specimen, is when you have the blood type A and B brain with the blood type O body, and they merge together. And now you have an extremely strong and intelligent human race. And so these viruses are going to be the moment of truth. How are you going to reconcile with the intelligence in your body and with the intelligence in the environment, and still make some money without going overboard, without trying to look for fame and fortune? Because when you're looking for fame and fortune and riches, you will sacrifice and compromise your ethics and morals and yourself. And so there's got to be a balance between the two. I don't know what that is. You will figure it out. But there's got to be a balance, because you're seeing people just not even aware of what's going on as far as these viruses, or completely oblivious to the power of these viruses. And then you're watching them suffer from watching their friends and family drop one by one. And it's like one person dies here, another person's on their way. They're working their way towards that end result. Another person's working their way toward, and that's the picking off. That's what they talk about in the Van Helsing, is that these vampires are evolving, and they're picking off people. And they're saying, yeah, they're picking up. We don't understand how these daywalkers, how it came from the feral vampires, the zombies, whatever, and then they turn into these daywalkers where they can walk around, and they're getting smarter. They're using tools. They're figuring out how to ambush, the good guys, right? And they're picking us off one by one. And that's what you're seeing, is now these viruses, these vampires, whatever, are picking people off one by one. You don't want to be the ones that they're picking off. I'm serious. Watching these vampire shows, they're telling you about the viruses. Vampiruses. Literally, they're telling you about the viruses. So take some time and get to know the world that you live in. It's not going into a Newport Beach museum and with soft music and people living their fantasy world of just complete ignorance. We're in a microbial war, and people are suffering around you. And so, just understand. I'm going to go and do my stuff, drink my coffee. I love some Starbucks. But you guys, just figure out your balance. Just figure it out. Blow your nose. Keep blowing your nose. Hawk up the loogies. Work your sphincter if you have to get the poop out. No shame in that game. And realize the world that you live in. It's a microbial world. That's what runs our world. And we're actively being terraformed by the microbes, and by then all the different chemical changes in the climate and the people releasing so much energy, causing the global warming. And that's the cancer as well. And that's the whole Georgia Guidestones. Be not a cancer on this earth. Leave room for nature. Leave room for nature. Seriously, literally, that's what is going on right now. That is what's happening. You can survive it. You have to understand the world you live in. It's not rainbows and fucking butterflies. All right, bye.